You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to a Sick Boy podcast.
Yeah, you sound a little husky.
I do. I don't think I'm sick. I think my sinuses are just a little fucked up.
You're sick.
But
You were sick.
No
You gave
fever,
it to me.
No blood. We probably shouldn't have made it out after last episode.
It's a tradition.
Our traditional kiss.
Look, this podcast's success rests on one thing, and that is you and me making out when we're done recording. We can't change it. We'll ruin our chances of ever becoming famous podcasters.
It's our podcast aftercare. To where, is it okay for you?
I'm glad that you know about aftercare, too. Phil, do you know about aftercare?
Oh, yeah.
All right, excellent.
I've got the cat sitting right next to me. He and I will have a good kiss session.
Phil's here.
I'm here.
And Bogomil.
Yeah. The good cat.
Yes.
What's your asshole cat?
That's Rosewood.
Rosewood.
Sure it's not Wormwood? Seems more
She's
appropriate.
getting better.
Oh, welcome to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. This time it's Tyler, Dave, and Phil. We're playing old games.
Just three regular dungeon daddies playing games.
Dungeon Daddies.
Dungeon Daddies.
It's almost Tap Dog. If I could leave and it could be Tap Dog, you guys want to do this by yourselves? I mean, you laugh, but it'd probably be a little better.
No. I mean,
I'm actually I'm the P in TADPOG. It's Tyler and Dave, Phil. Old games?
Question mark? I have also been keeping up with a lot of Bort posting recently.
Phil is too far away for me to kiss, so it wouldn't work.
You could cyber.
I have to have you here. I don't have Palace Chat access anymore. I can't.
By court order.
Unless I have a Tommy Hilfiger tune avatar with baggy pants and a newspaper that says kitty porn with a picture of a kitten on it. I just can't. I can't do it.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand why your heart wouldn't be into it. Does Palace Chat still exist? I feel like we had this discussion at least a dozen times, and I still don't know the answer.
Yeah. I feel like it does. Maybe. I don't know.
Let's just say it does. Did they have like Game of Thrones Palace Chat and like the Mandalorian Palace Chat?
Everybody's like nude, big dong, Baby Yodas.
Yeah. Man, Baby Yoda's dick's so big he's got Jinkos for it.
It has Jinkos on it.
Man, my Baby Yoda's got a big old Dr. Seuss cat in the hat on it.
Well, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mine's got a yellow bong. God bless you, Palace Chat. Come back to us.
Mm-hmm. Discord needs to step up their game and give us avatars in a virtual space to click around in.
I agree. I want to see what the I see fucking P Palace Chat is like.
Well, this week, courtesy of our dark, chaotic god, the Randomizer.
All hail.
All hail.
We are playing Dungeon Master for the SNES.
Dungeon Master.
And although he had never played it, it is the type of game I now associate with one Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins.
I am your first person CRPG port guest expert. It's
Dungeon Daddy.
It's kind of like
You're a Dungeon Daddy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like whenever Alton Brown would have his guest like nutritional anthropologist come on to every 2 or 3 episodes.
What else do they do? Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, I'm quiet because I am placing my maximum bid on a boxed Super Scope 6 light gun.
I love it so much.
Boy, let me tell you about the Super Scopes. You know how you told me that you had one, Tyler, and the scope was off? All the other Super Scopes that exist on the internet also do not have a scope.
It's unplayable, unusable.
So I'm glad you told me that because it's like I'm looking for one for inevitably we are going to have at least a handful. At least 6,
why
for sure.
it's detachable, I do not understand.
And and then what'll happen is people will sell them and they either don't realize that it needs the scope or they do not care that it needs the scope. So, sorry, that's you guys can talk about Dungeon Master. I'm just going to stare at my tablet while this bidding war continues. So when I said earlier, if you two just wanted to do this by yourselves, what I meant was, please, you two do this by yourselves.
It will be too hard to emulate. We need to get this.
You can use my stand-in voice bot if you want.
Oh, that's
That'll
true.
be fine.
Yeah. Well,
You got me saying Baby Yoda's dick. What else do you need? Dave, what do
I
you
always like to judge an episode based on would I be able to share it on my Facebook page, and we're 5 minutes in with multiple Baby Yoda dick references.
So yes, 100%.
Yeah, it's not too bad, really. Yeah, I feel like you're good.
We're tame so far. We'll see. We'll see. I've got like a running counter to see once we reach a certain threshold of like, can I share this? Will the mayor of Woodburn click on this? Do I want him to click on this?
The description on Facebook will be Mayor of Woodburn. And then that's it. Actually, I think that's. Would you be okay with that? I'm guessing no.
I like to keep my work life and my deviant life separate as much as possible.
On a scale of Bert and Ernie to Untitled Goose, like where would it fall if I did it anyway?
That's a good scale. We could replace beards and glasses with where does this fall between Untitled Goose and Bert and Ernie?
Or Toad and Frog. Maybe we should have done Toad and Frog, especially since Phil's here.
Yeah, that's a Toad move right there.
All right.
A real dick.
If we were going to do a Simpsons parallel of Toad and Frog, who would everyone in Toad and Frog be? You can only use Toad and Frog.
Because I actually saw on Reddit today on our Ambien somebody, because people get fucked up on Ambien and just post whatever on our Ambien. And
so it's not a pharmaceutical subreddit?
Nope.
Okay. I like to think it started that way and that it just got taken over by people fucked up on Ambien.
Well, yeah.
They're like, I need to find a reason that this is so weird.
Because I sent you one of them about like, the worm is free. Now, how much sin will he commit? It was just this puppet worm. But this one was somebody going, so smarts. And it's just that one page of Toad and Frog. We could put cookies in the box and not eat anymore, but then we could open the box. That's true.
Then you can tie a ribbon around the box.
I like to think it's a thesis on the free will of man.
Man.
Thanks, Ambien.
Schrodinger's cookies. Oh, well. I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and I personally don't have much of an intro, but Melissa actually told me a story I had never heard before.
You want to call her? You want to? Oh, never mind. We've already got Phil. Phil, we got to boot you to get Melissa.
I tried getting her like, hey, just come out here and tell it. She's like, no, you tell it.
Okay.
All right.
She doesn't want to do it. Okay.
That
Why, Melissa? You're so pleasant.
I know.
You should be on. You should be on the show. She listens, right?
Yep.
So there's a third female listener.
Yep.
Should be on the show.
But so she told me that several years ago, she got in her car and turned on her radio, and as soon as she turned it on, it said, and she was the circumstances were one like she couldn't actually see this. She could actually see like what it was tuned to,
what station it was on.
Right.
Yeah.
So she turned it on and immediately said,
"Murder your family."
She's like, all right. Be the ninth caller and win tickets to the CMA Awards. And she was like, okay. So she called in. Boom, she got it.
She was the ninth caller, right? Immediately?
She's like, you're the ninth caller. You just won tickets to the CMAs. How do you feel? Oh, she's great. This is awesome. Wonderful. Who made you a winner? You guys did.
Take two.
So then, like, they're like, all right, thanks. And then, like, got her offline and, we're getting her information. And she was like, okay, so who are you guys and where am I going? WKYQ, ma'am. Oh, no, okay, that makes sense.
That's the one with the rabbit, right? Not the one with the frog. I heard on another podcast, it was I think it was 2010. I've mentioned it before on the show. One of their hosts said that they got everything. Well, like when he was in high school, he got everything just by calling in on those radio station things. Because what he found out was no one calls. That's why I was surprised that she got in on the ninth. Because like he said that he would call back like 3 or 4 times and be like, "Am I the ninth caller? Click. Am I the ninth caller? Click." And they had no problem getting through. But then again, This is a country music station in Western Kentucky. Probably a lot of people are calling.
I mean, ghost of the show, David Dykes used to call regularly, and that's how he got all his tattoos, because he'd call when they'd offer a free tattoo. He'd call till he got it.
I didn't know he had any tattoos. I bet he's really regretting that TADPOG tattoo he got.
Yeah. Fuck you, man.
Did they get to pick the tattoo? It's just like,
Yes.
man, if free is free. It's a good offer. I don't care what's on my body.
Can't turn down something free, man. But
a good
Tweety
point.
Bird? Fuck yeah.
But can you make it a dirty
I'm
Tweety
like
Bird?
the RA and Saved by the Bell, the college years. Perfect. Tweety Bird on my ass.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
you
a deep
like
cut.
that deep cut?
I didn't even know that was a real. Is that a real
Yeah.
That is true.
trivoid? Phil agrees. Wow. I'm the only one here at this table. Clearly, I'm fit to only bid on a Super Scope. So,
But Melissa went, said it was really great. I guess it was the first time she'd gotten to see Reba McEntire, and she loves Reba.
my dad does too, man.
And John Turley. John Turley's
Yeah.
a big boner for Reba.
Quote, I have a big boner for Reba.
Yeah. I was like,
Unquote. John Turley.
Hey, John, what's up? This boner for Reba McEntire.
Can't you tell? It looks like Baby Yoda's dick wearing Jinkos. Add another one, Phil.
Yeah.
I've also put a spike collar around it like I did my own neck when I was in high school. I had a goth phase.
Phil, I think you need like a bell or something that rings every time we like trigger your do not post to work Facebook.
I don't have a bell, but I do have computer wires and a metal desk.
Perfect. That sounded great. Do it again, please.
Every time I feel uncomfortable with where this conversation is going for my public image,
That's the TADPOG way.
But then before she got to see like the pinnacle of everything, the awful person she took with her said, "No, let's go beat the traffic," and she was forced to leave before she actually got to see the whole show.
Really?
Yep.
So wait, this whole thing has like happened already? Like
This was years ago. Years ago. Yeah.
I was like, holy
no, years
shit,
ago.
man. Like over the course of this past week that I haven't seen you.
Yeah, but we went to see a maze, and I was like, "Man, fuck this! I don't want to be stuck in traffic. Let's go."
All right, okay.
No, this was a lifetime ago.
I see. Okay, I'm with you now. I don't know. That wasn't tracking for me. I was like, wow, holy God, a lot has happened.
What about you, Phil? You got an intro story?
yeah. Before I get to that, though, I do feel new listeners out there. If you are familiar with the current,
They don't exist.
well, there were a couple of people that came into TADPOG Church on Sunday, which I don't think I had seen before. Had you seen before, Dave?
No, I hadn't. I should have been like a real pastor and gotten them to commit to listen. You know, like I
Yeah.
should have been like, hey, thanks for dropping by. Look, I really like you. I can tell that you're really cool. How would you feel about joining our podcast
You
family?
just stop the video. If anybody here feels like something is being laid on their heart, and they want to come to the TADPOG altar and pledge their lives right now to TADPOG, and just raise your hands.
I need to start
This
going.
is TADPOG Church.
I need to start going to church to take notes on what to do on the stream.
So how do you brainwash them?
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's great. God. Okay. But how do you brainwash them?
But all this money that people are just throwing in this bucket, how do you do that?
All right, I'm sorry, Phil. To the new listeners.
No, but yeah, no. For new listeners,
I noticed that you didn't ring the bell, so I feel like all that was probably in the
I
clear.
also want to point
Not
out
yet.
that I am a Christian, do believe in God, but I do have my problems with organized religion.
And part of that is the brainwashing and the
The
dumping of money.
brainwashing in the buckets.
Have some class. Buckets? Really?
Come on.
Come on. With all the money in the bucket, you could buy something better than a bucket.
Those are basically gold-plated hats you're passing around. It's very weird. Have
But you
have a
mentioned-
clown and we put stuff in his mouth.
All right, we got it. Finally, we can move on.
you mentioned John Turley, and I fear new listeners may confuse your regular guest host, Burger Bottom Bitch Wizard, Captain Gun Nerd.
Let's just go with Captain Gunner. Reba McEntire lover.
There we go. That's the one I like.
But they might be confusing him with current Republican legal scholar John Turley, who is testifying with the current impeachment hearings right now. So let's go ahead and date this podcast with that.
I forgot
listener
about that.
4 years from now. Remember the Republican or remember the impeachment hearings? That was a thing, wasn't it? That was nice. So, no,
I don't know.
John
We'll see.
Hey, Handmaiden, do you remember the long ago? Whenever you're listening to this illegally in the dystopia.
No. Well, so I do have a pretty a decent story here involving everyone's favorite Herald Arthur, who you might remember from Poop on the Floor Flame. Poop on the Floor Flame.
Poop on the floor flame. Son, I have ignited the floor flame that will warm our house.
It's a religious thing that Phil has in his house. If you're a new listener, we've talked about the flame a lot.
He has an incinerator toilet called the floor flame, and everyone must shit upon it.
It's actually he's got a room in his house that just has wire mesh, and then below that wire mesh, it's just like lava, like in Bowser's Castle. And when you go to the bathroom, you just do whatever you want in there, and it all goes in the lava. Every now and then you got to scrub the grate.
Yeah. I may say it's heat sanitizer. It's fine.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It bakes it in. Yeah, it gives that mesh a nice patina.
He's got. So he's.
Phil, welcome to a weird episode of TADPOG.
Yep.
No, this is great. All you Dungeon Master fans, welcome to the show. This is.
They do exist.
We'll get there eventually. But yeah, no, Arthur is 9 years old now. Like he is no longer
insanity.
pooping on the floor. He's pooping on toilets these days.
Attaboy.
Yeah. But no, like he watches, as any 9-year-old does, he watches a lot of YouTube, like a fucking lot of YouTube. And I don't really think he actually, I mean, he likes it, but oftentimes when he gets done with it and he's kind of realized that he has used his daily allotment of screen time on watching some random British dude emote about Minecraft and realized that he didn't actually get to play any games today. So, about
that dystopia we were talking about.
Yeah. Big Dan TDM fan.
Yeah.
Baldy. I forget who else, but it's a bunch of it's essentially like the nutritional equivalent of sprinkles mixed with butter. Like it's just absolute intellectual garbage.
Nothing like the TADPOG stream. Sundays at 8:30 Central on Twitch.tv. An intellectual delight.
Come find your intellectual salvation.
You're good.
He's generally pretty good with his YouTube watching, and we can kind of leave him alone to watch his stuff, and he's not straying into alt-right recruitment videos or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
he hasn't fallen asleep watching YouTube for long enough.
Do you use YouTube Kids or just like straight up unfiltered YouTube?
Just straight up unfiltered.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. It's dangerous, and guess what?
No rubber.
That ties into today's story. So
all right. Okay.
Arthur really likes like internet, like LOL random culture. Like if it's weird, obscure Mario fan theories or
I wonder where he got that from.
Yeah. Have any of you guys ever heard the word PINGAS before?
PINGAS? No, but I'm going to guess it's a penguin's penis.
You're close.
Oh, damn it. I mean, I'm glad I'm close, but I wanted to nail it. Is it a Palace Chat thing?
It could be. It could be. Arthur might be on Secret Palace Chat, and I don't even know about that.
Find out.
But there's, for a period of time, so, and for reference, Arthur is chock full of ADHD. We hit him up with all sorts of vaccinations, and we spun the roulette wheel, and we barely missed it, but here we are. And so
the randomizer giveth, the randomizer taketh away.
And like Arthur is very, he likes to just kind of like sing and yell and blurt things randomly, just for the fun of it, for being random. And one of the things, like one time he starts interjecting the word PINGAS loudly into his conversations.
Okay.
Randomly, without context, without meaning, just PINGAS, saying the word PINGAS whenever PINGAS. And like the more frustrated his mother and I would get, like the happier it made him.
Wait, let me ask you a question real quick. Why were you guys getting frustrated? Was it because it was just annoying, or you didn't know what it was, or
PINGAS? Yeah, just imagine that.
What's the law of equivalent exchange? You cannot gain joy unless your parents lose it. So
yes, this is the way.
And like the best we could understand, like Arthur thought that it meant fingers because it kind of sounds like the word fingers. And we kind of left at that. And eventually the trend faded. He latched onto other internet jargon. And occasionally he, from time to time would blurt out the word every now and then. And we hadn't heard it for a while until a couple weeks ago when we're out getting tacos at one of the taco trucks around here. And he says the word PINGAS. And I'm just like, you know what? What the fuck does PINGAS mean? I'm actually going to look this up and look it up on Google on my phone. And Urban Dictionary says it means penis. It is an internet slang word for penis that my son has just been blurting out over and over again without any knowledge that he was doing this.
You know what he was doing? He was winning the PINGAS game at home. No one else would even play with him.
But it comes from a Sonic the Hedgehog episode.
What? Which Sonic do you know?
Like the 90s Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
And I'll give you a link in the show notes. I've got everything. I've got done the research on this.
The PINGAS facts.
There's an episode where Dr. Robotnik says the dialogue, "Snooping as usual, I see." And with the way he inflects snooping as, if you carefully edit ping as, it sounds a lot like penis. And this was turned into this internet phenomenon, apparently in certain circles of the web, like 12 years ago. And so when Arthur was interjecting the word PINGAS into his speech, he was mimicking a video, like a famous YouTube video where someone had taken that Sonic episode, and whenever there was like a noun, they inserted the word PINGAS into place of the noun, so it sounded like they were saying penis over and over and over again.
Look, man, I am trying to get rich making internet content, and I think you just opened the door for me. Like, I feel like I could do that. But maybe not, because my mind immediately went to, I think I remember that episode where Sonic threw a chili dog at Dr. Robotnik's crotch, and Dr. Robotnik said, "Oh, my PINGAS." So maybe I couldn't do that.
Why don't you suck this chili dog, Dr. Robotnik? Your what? My PINGAS.
Your Topanga? That's a different show.
There you go.
But I will suck that Topanga. Present it. Okay, all right. Oops, went too far. I meant the old one. Don't ring your desk bell at me.
Girl Meets World.
I meant the mom one.
The age-appropriate sucking.
Right.
Did you explain to him what PINGAS meant?
Yeah, and I told him, like, Arthur, you're saying like you're essentially just saying cock over and over again, just cock, 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 and he got a kick out of that. So
that's even better. Cock.
Yeah,
I'll just cut straight to the chase.
Arthur is also a very, very proper boy, and he prides himself on not like looking up inappropriate stuff and saying inappropriate stuff. So this has turned him off from PINGAS ever again.
That's good.
So
enjoy those.
Good on him, I suppose. And then maybe he'll latch on to the next inappropriate internet craze. I don't know.
What I love the most about Arthur stories is it gives me a glimpse into the future.
Mm-hmm.
Because Henry also had a floor turd, which I remember when it happened because I immediately was like, Phil, Phil, look, this also happened to my house.
Nicky, get the camera.
So yeah, right. In 4 years, will be the PINGAS
this on the internet.
Hey Siri, put this on the internet.
So Dave and I, in celebration of Phil being back on the show, we are being basic AF and drinking the White Claws left behind by Brandon when he came over here the other day.
The whitest of claws. I've never had a White Claw before.
Yeah, they're not good.
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna try one. Hi, I'm Dave.
It's like very minorly alcoholic LaCroix.
I've never had LaCroix.
Just use them as mixers. Like, just put some better, stronger alcohol in them, and then you have like super alcohol.
How do you spell LaCroix?
LACROIX.
Yep.
I know Remy LaCroix in that case, but I've just like her, I've never tasted LaCroix or age appropriate Topanga.
So Remy LaCroix, Remy LeBeau? Are there multiple Remy Laws?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's bad. I don't like that at all. This is awful. This is what LaCroix tastes like?
Yeah, only no alcohol.
Yeah, look, if you get the
It's
Walmart
like
brand.
a hint of strawberry, like lime with its batteries almost dead.
If you get the Walmart brand LaCroix, they are like, look, we get our audience. We're gonna load this up with we get it. You don't like water. We get it. We see you coming in the store. We understand you don't like water.
You're one of those people who say water's gross.
Right.
No, we get it.
And they've got me pegged because it's like,
You
you're
hate
correct.
water?
No, I hate water, man.
Oh, man.
God, I'm like, I never have. But so we moved around a lot when I was a kid. Every tap water tastes different. And so,
Yeah.
I do not trust water.
Well, yeah, tap water I think is gross. I'm with you 100% there.
And it's like when we lived in Louisiana, that's where I was born. I swear, man, I do not know if it's just our city or
Just
what.
swamp water.
Well, I mean, there's some to that. It's like all the water in the tap tastes like sulfur.
Ooh,
Like, I mean,
ooh.
like you can let the water run for a while and because there was a while where dude, I hadn't lived there for so long, but all my family does, aunts and uncles and grandparents and stuff like that. And I would go back to visit and I would take a shower and this literally happened. I was taking a shower and I was like, it's like 11. Is someone making eggs? And it was the water in the shower.
So you got back on your fan boat and left.
Yeah, I was like, see ya.
Man, that sounds really bad.
So I don't like
Oh,
water, but I've
oh.
got a history with it, so that's my excuse.
Oh man.
But my point is, if you want high flavored seltzer water, I believe it's called America's Choice.
Goddamn right it is.
So it is my choice whether or not I want to drink water, and I don't.
Question is whether they have that light sulfur flavored LaCroix America's Choice.
Right? Yeah. Could I get the Louisiana special, please?
Eggs.
Yeah.
And I mean, look,
Grapefruit, lemon, egg.
I'm not, and it's like I'm not trying to bash or anything because I love where I'm from, but it's like, man, that water is gross.
Ooh, oh man.
Also, not related to anything gross, but I believe that it is going to be this week. Hey, do you know Choctopus?
Yeah.
He's been on the show before and talk about Super
Good
Smash
guy.
Brothers and Goof Troop. Yeah. And we know, and he sent us that package recently, and we know that he is way more important than us.
Yep.
He invited me to play Super Mario Strikers for the GameCube with him for an upcoming video that he's doing. And if you are listening to this episode when it comes out, wait one more day, and I think you'll be able to see that video. If you're listening to this in the future, if you're listening to this in the dystopian future where Palace Chat has taken over the world, go ahead and go back, dig into the archives, and you can find that. And if you're listening to this on Wednesday and you're like, shit, I'm going to forget tomorrow, just subscribe to Choctopus on YouTube. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, man.
You guys want to talk about Dungeon Master for the Super Nintendo?
I probably should.
Yeah.
I can talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I can talk about Super Mario Maker 2 Ninja Speedrun mode. I can talk about River City Girls. I can talk about
Girls.
Nikki's got a haircut that I really like. Talk about that. I
Okay.
mean,
I watched Home Alone this past weekend.
Hey,
That was a thing.
man, Home Alone. Okay, so we've got Disney Plus, and Home Alone is on there, and it's like whenever Henry's in the room, I have to strategically scroll through Disney Plus so that he does not see Home Alone, because if he sees it, he's like, Home Alone, Home Alone, Home Alone, Home Alone. It's like, man, I like Home Alone, but I'm tired of watching Home
All
Alone.
right, Henry. And you scroll over to Home Alone 3.
I've never seen it. He and I can experience that nightmare together. Or we can watch Home Alone 2 and I can be like, that man is our president.
Yeah.
Tim Curry?
A woman with pigeons?
Pigeon Woman 2020.
I have a big boner for Reba McEntire, unquote. Pigeon Lady 2020. On a scale of Toad and Frog to Untitled Goose, where would you rank Home Alone 3?
Ooh. Right by Sandlot 2, which Sandlot 2 is
I didn't know there was a
Sandlot
Sandlot
1, just with different actors.
Oh, boy.
It's not as good.
All right, sweet. Who plays James Earl Jones?
Oh, I don't know.
Who plays the dog?
I only watched a little bit of it. I was like, why are they redoing Sandlot? It's like they're talking about it's a Sandlot 2. Like, oh, okay, it's the next neighborhood. What is it? No, it's basically Sandlot 1 with more kid actors that are not as good.
Does it take place in the same, like, era? Or is it like,
it looks the same. Like,
Really?
I would have figured, but yeah.
all right. You know what else is pretty great is Stand By Me Too. They cutely titled it Stand By Me as well.
Sophie's other choice.
Also America's choice.
Well, did you hear that, Dave?
I do hear that. It sounds like the clamoring of many a person rushing to hear our fantastic, we promise, fantastic Dungeon Master content. Which, of course, ushers in a segment that we like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia. Okay, guys, Dungeon Master is a real-time role-playing video game featuring a pseudo 3D first-person perspective. That is all one hyphenated word, and it's a blue link in Wikipedia. If we can go down that rabbit hole, if we want to see what that is all about. Dungeon Master was developed and published by FTL Games for the Atari ST in 1987. Almost identical Amiga and PC DOS ports following in 1988 and 1992. Dungeon Master reportedly sold 40,000 copies in its year of release alone and went on to become the ST's best-selling game of all time. The game became the prototype for the genre of the 3D dungeon crawlers, with notable clones like, and this is kind of important because it is also a Super Nintendo game, or let me rephrase that, it was also ported to the Super Nintendo, Eye of the Beholder, which is like the big famous one for like the D&D gold box stuff.
Which is also the Super Nintendo game that I own too. So I'll look forward for that one.
Well, yeah, when we get to it, man, will you be on it?
I'll be here.
All right.
I've never played it before, but I'll give it a try.
Well, that makes two of us at least.
Yeah, this game was, I hadn't heard of this Dungeon Master before because I didn't have, I was a Nintendo boy growing up, so I didn't know any of the PC stuff. And it was surprising to hear that this was just apparently the great granddaddy of first person dungeon crawlers. That this was kind of the thing amongst first person role playing games from the late 80s. So was it apparently it's a big deal.
Was it a surprise to you because it is a big deal and you never heard of it? Or were you surprised just because of like once you started playing it, you were like, this was the first one? Like this was the big deal?
I mean, just more that just surprised at the critical success. Just in terms of, you think of other forms of media, music and movies and stuff. You kind of know what were the big hits from before your time. What was big in the 60s and 70s music-wise, like Gone with the Wind or Citizen Kane. But video games, you don't, like, at least with me, I don't really know what was kind of the big games that helped pave the way for what we have now. And it sounds like this was one of them. This was kind of one of the pillars of first person gaming when it came out.
Yeah.
So it was very surprising to kind of figure that out.
But to be fair, like in all of our defenses, I think that this coming out originally on the Atari ST certainly didn't help. And also the fact that Wikipedia, like, it seems in that entry that they make a big deal out of 40,000 copies sold first year. And it's like, that is a fraction of a fraction of, like, a best-selling video game, like, in 2019.
We have more listens than that. That's how fractional that was.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
To put that on a more like digestible term, from what I was able to read, that one of every two Atari STs out there, Atari ST owners, had this game. Like, this game had over a 50% market share amongst Atari ST owners. That's how popular this thing was.
That's how unpopular the Atari ST was.
That is a very good way
That's
to phrase
how
that,
limited
yes.
in options Atari ST owners had.
Well, even like a few of the people who popped into the Twitch stream, who were amazed that I was playing Dungeon Master. Like they didn't mention the Atari ST. Like one of the viewers mentioned the Amiga, which I mean that makes sense because I was like, hey, I've heard of that one.
I've heard a lot about the Amiga.
Yeah,
I don't
me
even
too.
know what it looks like, but I want to get one.
I wanted one as a kid, but we had that TRS 80, and boy, we were gonna hold on to that thing forever.
But yeah, that kind of plays into some of the background history of this, because this thing got ported to everything, just absolutely everything. And I read that they had planned on making this. The developers had planned on making this kind of the first in a number of games, because you can essentially just create dungeons and create your own modules off of this. But they spent so much of their time making ports for other systems that they didn't actually get around to making any actual new content for it.
Oh, so the Bethesda was Skyrim. Got it.
Yeah, this was kind of a little bit of a proto Skyrim, and it has some Skyrim-y things to it. You can upgrade your stats. You can level up not by getting experience points necessarily, but by like leveling up your skills. And it has weight encumbrance. It has food and water things that you have. There was a lot of like proto RPG mechanics in this game that were either first developed or kind of first made popular that now has essentially become the norm.
And I think that the active time battles, I think that was the big thing about this game, from what I understand. Because like there were games similar to this. They were first-person dungeon crawlers before, but they were all turn-based as far as I understand. Yeah,
like Wizardry had come out, the first Wizardry had come out in 1981. So this was, long before this, and Ultima as well. But the real-time action element was huge. Which I kind of is kind of its own separate subgenre from other role-playing games. Have you guys played or heard of Legend of Grimrock before?
Yeah, I own that.
I own it. Yeah, got it from a Humble Bundle or something.
Same.
Yeah,
that is very much akin to this. That if you want the Dungeon Master experience, but one that isn't super dated and clunky, play that, because it's almost like an homage, and I think it is an homage to this type of game. It's 4 people, and it's got the little the party indicator of 2 people in front, 2 people in back. It's got 2 hands for each person to store a weapon and a shield, and then 2 pocket slots for them. And it's less about like the story-driven RPG experience and more navigating the dungeon, navigating these 10 to 15 floors through pressing a combination of switches and pressure plates and teleports to maneuver through these dungeon-based puzzles.
And fuck this game for being so handist, by the way, since you mentioned putting stuff in your hand.
Oh, yeah, because you always use the right hand?
Yeah.
Would you prefer a hand toggle?
Yes, you're goddamn right I would.
Well, it goes even beyond that, too, because like you do interact with the game via your control pad, the D-pad, and you press up, and then there's a cursor that responds to it. And when it's on the game screen, because there are a lot of inset windows and stuff in this one, but when it's on the game screen, it turns into a hand, and you can use that hand to interact with the world. Like, for instance, pick things up. You see a key on the floor, you move the cursor, you move your hand.
You see a white key on the white floor, you hover around, you pick it up.
Yeah. You forgot a few steps before there. You're like, you find a keyhole, you're like, there should be a key for this. And then you wander around for 5 minutes, and you're like, is that a key? Yeah, I guess that's a key.
Okay, there's some sheets on the ground. I wonder if there's a key in those sheets.
And then you bring the key to the keyhole, and then you place the hand over it. You're right. It's a right hand.
Yep. So if you put something, because I made the mistake when I was playing, so I put got this cool falchion. I'm put this falchion in my hand up here. Oh, put it in the left hand, you can't use it. You put it in your right hand. Like, I can't use it in combat. Oh, because it's in the wrong hand.
Yeah. And you have to have like, I believe, I might be wrong, but I think they call the left hand the ready hand, which is like
the sinister hand.
Well, I mean, let's be real though, right? I'm totally right-handed. But they if you were using an item that's not a weapon, like for instance, when I was making alchemy happen, I believe I was holding the flask in my left hand. Because it's a sinister hand. I know it's gonna embolden the evil magics.
Because See, what else were my initial impressions playing this game was that right off the bat. Because I see where this is important. I see where this is important to gaming history as a whole.
Dungeon Master.
Master.
Well, okay, sure.
But it missed. I was born in 1984, and I feel like that is outside the window where this game would have been awesome for me.
Okay.
If I had been born in like 78, 77, and I feel like I would have been right in the right time for this game, and I would have fucking loved it. But I feel like outside of that window, this game is difficult to latch onto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's cumbersome for sure. Cumbersome, some might even say. Yeah. But I will say this. Well, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Do you think the way you feel about this game has anything to do with the fact that we played it on the Super Nintendo?
Yes.
I mean, I know we've talked about that with Might and Magic 3 and Wizardry 5, which were both ported to the Super Nintendo.
That's true.
But, and I think that is the thing that holds back all of these games is that they're not really designed to be played.
There's like 3 guys at Nintendo of America who like these and want to put them on the Super Nintendo.
And from what I understand, this game, Dungeon Master, does not work with the SNES mouse. Ooh. And I think the reason for that is the game was released before the SNES mouse was. I haven't been able to nail down an exact date when this game was released on the Super Nintendo, but
no one knows. It's appeared on shelves one day.
Yeah. The copyright on the title screen, it says 1992, which, if that's the case, the Super Nintendo is only out for like a year.
Yeah.
And I feel like this, for a 1992 game, I feel like this is pretty good, truly.
Yeah.
Like, I really do, because, I mean, I think there are definitely better games for the Super Nintendo.
Because I know if I pick up and I'm playing Super Mario World and my mom is like, hey, I bought you this game. Oh, cool. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, sure. No, and I'm not doubting what you just said. I believe 100% that,
I go to the playground. Hey, you may play Dungeon Master? What?
I get to be Zed.
I'm Gothamok.
I'm not doubting anything that you just said. I believe you. I mean, like, you as a kid at that time when it came out, like, yeah, you probably would have hated it.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, for as early as the Super Nintendo was, as young as it was when it came out, I feel like this is a pretty good port for people who are into this genre.
People who's older in it. Yeah, I can see that. It has its place.
Because I would have been 11 when this game came out, and I would have latched onto it.
Yep.
Because this would have been a great, like, summer game where it's like, if I'm not playing this game on a deadline and I can just fuck around with it, and
it's a desert island game.
It is
absolutely.
But there is a caveat to that, and that is I also need to be able to talk to somebody who knows how to play it, because it is so cumbersome that even with the instruction manual, which I read, there were things that I had no idea how to do in the game. Like, for example, when I was talking about making a potion, you find... I feel like I never got even past the tutorial level in this game, because it was like I'm constantly wandering around, and you find scrolls that you can read, and the scrolls give you game hints. Like, for example, how to resurrect fallen party members. Mm-hmm. Like, you stumble upon this alcove of resurrection.
Oh yeah, you know, I noticed I put an alcove of resurrection right over there.
Oh shit, I missed it. Cool. Check that out. That is pretty great.
Our friends would have to be reduced to bare bones.
Yeah, that's Patreon dollars at work. We have a resurrection alcove in the Holland deck. But I mean, there's nothing. If there's anything about resurrecting fallen members in the instruction manual, I missed it completely. Other things like making potions. You can make potions in the game. That's also not in the instruction manual. So it feels like I understand. Like, the instruction manual is already huge, because I think it has like a 16-page story about like the dungeon that you're going to and who you are and who your master is. And I'm hoping that Phil knows that story better than I do, because, boy, I just skimmed through that one.
Your master, what was it? Because they have it at the beginning, like this kind of Star Wars style. Well, not Star Wars style, but they have this like crawl of text, which felt very lengthy. And it's
in a font that I could only assume is called Medieval Nintendo.
Yeah,
because that's what it all has.
What font should we use? UN Squadron? Oh, Medieval.
This thing was like
Castlevania. All right,
close enough.
I feel this thing was the impetus for making like game tropes a thing, because it had every single game trope in there, in like as many as you would cram into the intro story between dark wizards and power gems,
Ding,
and
ding.
you are the apprentice,
Ding.
the apprentice of the much more powerful master wizard who must go fight and save the world.
Ding.
And it's a very, very, and that's like all the story is. The rest of the story, there's no NPCs in the game. There's no town, which is kind of like that's indicative of this type of puzzle-based dungeon crawler, is that there is no economy. You're not going to town and buying and selling weapons.
I love that.
You're not.
So when they're designing, all right, so let's play Mad Libs. All right,
Yeah.
all right, name an element.
Fire.
Fire. All right, good, you're good. All right, name a medieval weapon.
Phil's turn.
That's not a weapon.
You never heard of a Phil's turn? You've been to a Renaissance festival before, right? The fuck? A Phil's turn. It's like a flail, but it's got like Phil's head
Got
on
a
it.
pingus on the end.
A pingus. I love it. Amazon reviewers always rate the Phil's head as a
The Phil's turn or the Phil's head?
Oh, I'm sorry. Shit.
They have two very different functions, David.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Phil's head with the pingus.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
That's the Phil's turn.
Never mind.
Take it off. She's the Phil's head.
I was gonna say they always rated a big bird and Snuffleupagus.
Sorry, I ruined your improv joke.
No, staff.
Sorry, I'm
Staff.
sorry, I ruined your
Staff
plan.
is what we were looking for.
I
Fire
have
staff.
a gun. Why did I just say gun?
1 minute weapon. Gun! I said medieval weapon. Wooden gun!
Phil's turn.
Angus.
All right. So that halted the podcast.
Dungeon Master.
Dungeon Master. The story's like Mad Libs.
So I
Tyler, who did you? Oh, sorry.
Well,
Go
no.
ahead.
Then I saw a random fact. I didn't know if anybody else can corroborate it or not.
Birds are not real.
Birds
Random
are not
fact.
real. They do not exist. So the Super Nintendo version is called Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
But the version for Windows is called Super Dungeon Master.
That seems like that's backwards, right?
Yep.
Do you think Microsoft was like, holy shit, Nintendo didn't take it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Their loss.
Is that the one that has like extra spells in it?
I don't know.
I think because in chat someone was mentioning like there is a version, a PC version of this game that has like more spells and I think extra characters and stuff. So maybe it is Super Dungeon Master, and if that's the case, then I guess it makes sense.
They did make a Dungeon Master 2.
Holy God.
Like in 92 or 93, somewhere in the early 90s as well, which I think was essentially like, no, they ended up making, sorry, I did a bunch of research beforehand on this, and they ended up making Dungeon Master 2 in like 95 with, I think, the same graphics. And it bombed because it was like a 7-year-old super dated game.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I mean, even it coming out on the Super Nintendo in 1992 is like, you're pushing it. Because it feels like, you boot it up, and I say that because it definitely feels like you're powering on something old. You boot it up, and it's like, yeah, man, this feels dated. Even though I think the intro on the Super Nintendo, the Mad Lib that we were talking about earlier, is well animated. There's like Mode 7 effects and like Dungeon Master, like the words Dungeon Master just like spins on the screen and it goes. So they're like, okay, let's make use of this new technology, this Mode 7.
I love that graphic on my Dixie cups in my bathroom. So we put the Dixie cups design, and then I like designing women. So let's have
Who doesn't?
Let's have all print and then some form of cursive like Designing Women does, and then with a Dixie Cup logo, and put it on the Super Nintendo in 1992.
And at the title screen, if you press down and select, you can unlock Delta Burke.
She was in the Hall of Heroes. That is true. The Hall of Champions.
Oh man, let's talk about the Hall of Champions.
It's too bad that she dies 2 levels in because you can't get enough food for Delta Burke.
You can die in this game from not eating. Yep. I had one of my party members just all of a sudden turn into a pile of bones because I had not fed him.
Yeah, the character selection was not something I had ever seen before. You take the form of a disembodied ghost.
You're a ghost. You're Theron, the ghost.
You're a ring wraith.
So I guess the apprentice is also dead in this fiction.
Yes.
Is that how this works?
Yeah, I think what happened was the Grey Lord, the wizard, he got that power stone, and when he got it, like it blew up and it killed Theron, the apprentice, and it split him into two. It split him into his lawful side, the wizard, the big wizard. I don't know if he's really big or not. I just felt like saying it.
The jumbo wizard.
His Pingas,
the Jumzard.
huge. Yeah. So it splits him. The explosion splits him into his lawful side and his chaotic side. So the lawful side gets imprisoned, and the chaotic
then
side,
Adam Warlock, the one that's left,
right, calls Earth's mightiest heroes to aid him. The chaotic side of your lord just takes over the dungeon. He's like, that's my dungeon now. And the lawful side approaches Theron the ghost and says, oh shit, dude, I'm like, sorry, you're like totally dead, but could you like organize a party of 4 other dead heroes and defeat chaos? Because that's what you're doing in the Hall of Champions. They're not champions. They're just dead people.
Yeah. They have already failed, and they have been imprisoned General Zod style in these photographs that are on the wall.
Look at this photograph. It holds the soul of a dead hero.
They're mirrors. They're mirrors. And the only reason I bring that up is because you, the ghost Theron, looks into the mirror and you see staring back at you the fallen hero.
Oh, see, I thought it was just like portraits.
Yeah, no, I thought that too, but it's like I read online, so it's totally true that they're mirrors, and that you're choosing, when you look in the mirror, you're like, yeah, I'm going to embody this wolf man.
Okay. Yeah. So what did everybody choose? What's your party?
Pingas the Warlock.
I don't think... Which you can rename them. So each of the 24 characters kind of has their own name, their own character with stats, or you can revive that character, or you can reincarnate them as with this, and have the same portrait, but able to rename them, and they'll have higher stats, but they won't have any of their levels in fighter, priest, ninja, or wizard. That's the 4 character classes that they can level up, and you can level up into any of them. You're not kind of restricted on your class. It's just if you fight a bunch, you're gonna be a fighter. If you cast a bunch of spells, then you're gonna be a priest or a wizard. So it's got some flexibility there.
And it is important to note. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'll forget otherwise.
Yeah.
Nintendo does the Nintendo thing, and they are healers in the Super Nintendo version, and not priests.
Priests can get the fuck out.
In Europe, I wonder if they took Ninja out, because remember the whole Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, was Ninja out and it was just Hero instead, or like
Acrobat or some shit.
Right? Yeah, I wonder.
Circus performer.
I'm sorry, Phil. I interrupted you. You were saying?
I don't think I actually ever got past the Hall of Champions. I kind of just watched you and watched gameplay, and then was able to kind of play and maneuver, and so I didn't pick a team.
It is a long process. Like, I get it. I think I spent like an hour
in the Hall of Champions. It's easy to get turned around, and they're hidden in all these little alcoves and around corners and on different walls.
Yes, but I have a theory about that.
The Hall of Champions is like baby's first maze.
It is not a hall in any way.
Yeah, it is a tiny maze. But I think that's by design. I really do think that they're like, all right, we got to ease people. We understand that this is a weird game. This is a different thing for a lot of people. So if we make the character selection like a mini dungeon, then maybe it'll help them learn how to play the game.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it forces you to use the hand cursor to select. So it's actually teaching you that this is how you interact with the game. And then once you choose your heroes and you go down to the first level, the first level is the tutorial. They have, it teaches you how to pick up and eat and consume food. It teaches you how to maneuver switches and traps. I think there's just one enemy on there, so it kind of gives you a basic tutorial on combat. So I did like that about this game, is that it very slowly eased you into this and used the game as a means to teach you how to play.
Yeah, it's like the game like licks its finger and then like just kind of like swipes your butthole. And it's gauging your reaction. It's like, if this is too much, you can. All right, I heard the bell. All right, we're done.
So because I watched you play it, Dave, and then I watched another video, but a guy was playing it on
Who did it better?
Apple II. You did it better,
Thank you.
baby. You did.
Thanks. Yeah, fuck that guy.
But I saw in the version he was playing, he said early on this really helps, and he opened the grate for the mummy to come in. The mummy's the first and weakest enemy. And he clicks the lower button several times so the gate crushes the mummy and kills the foreign.
Oh, that's awesome.
I thought that too. I said, that's awesome. I come out here and played on my Super Nintendo. That trick does not work, and I died.
Man.
So I'm just like clicking the gate, like, yeah, kill this mummy. Blah, blah, blah.
What was your party looking like, Tyler? Who did you pick? Do you remember?
Well, I renamed everybody after all my old email accounts.
Okay, perfect. I love it.
So
who'd you have?
My first one, I picked the samurai character.
Yeah.
He has quote unquote samurai sword, the whole white gi.
Yeah.
All that.
I thought he looked like Steve Perry from Journey.
He was Boston Bob.
Boston Bob. All right.
And then I picked a very old wizard.
Is he the one that looked kind of like a dealer? That's what I thought. There was one wizard who I was like, that's either a wizard or a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I do not know which.
I picked him. I was like, okay, these stats look okay. So reincarnate. All right, let's do this. And he was Faux Newman.
Perfect.
Yep. And then what I went and picked, I picked the girl. What did I name the girl?
The one that looks like Red Sonja?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what did I name her? Well, then I went and picked.
Now, what are your other email addresses?
I'm about to say, and the only other one I know I went and got, maybe I picked the Shroud, the ninja, the dark character, named
Gothmog.
Gothmog.
Yeah.
And renamed Gothmog Shady Milkman.
Yeah, that's actually quite fitting.
Well, you're only limited to 5 characters, so it looked like complete nonsense.
Oh, yeah, 5 like alphanumericals. Yeah.
All the characters, like the pre-generated ones, there's 24 of them. They're all named after something. So Gothmog being a Tolkien character, Sonja is named after Red Sonja. There is Hulk, Barbarian, Halk, and he's modeled after Conan the Barbarian. My favorite one, which I learned after the fact, there's a black woman with a big afro whose name is Azizi Johari, who is named after a 1975 June Playboy Playmate of the Month.
Wow.
Show notes, maybe?
Link to that in the show notes,
Wow.
yeah.
What was the date on that?
June 1975.
Wow. All right. Well, maybe you can tell me who my party was, like who each character was based on.
Oh, Daddy has a rich backstory as well, for sure.
Okay, so excellent. We'll start there. I composed my dungeoneering party after a non-traditional family that is led by a dad. When I was going through all the mirrors, one really stood out to me, and like one of Zed looks like an 80s dad. Like, I mean, he looks like an 80s dad, like to the point where it's like, oh wow, that's like really an 80s dad. Cause he's like not even wearing, like in the mirror, he's not even wearing like armor or anything. It's just like a blue shirt.
He's wearing a Carhartt button up.
Yeah, he's got like a blue shirt, a mustache, black hair. Essentially, like I could put up a photograph of Zed and my father taken like circa 1987. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They're the same picture.
He looks like a volunteer New York fireman.
Yeah.
Is what
or like a minor league baseball player.
There you go, like a 70s minor league baseball player.
Yeah. So what's Zed's rich backstory?
So the Zed of Banville is the lead character of FTL Games' previous game, Sundog. Sundog was an FTL style, like the actual game FTL. It's a style of game where you are in this in this spaceship, and you're kind of flying from colony to colony, trading back and forth.
Wow, that is weird.
Because Zed was the Sundog.
Sundog!
Yeah.
And that was Atari's best-selling game before Dungeon Master came out and took over.
Then you decided to get some moon pussy. All right?
Sundog needs a moon buzzer.
I know she didn't ring the desk bell, so that's good. I'm glad we're in the clear.
That's good.
Everyone needs moon pussy.
Bulbasaur's home now, so I'm not whacking things randomly in the office anymore. So
She'll just yell.
fair.
It's fine.
yeah.
So wait, the Zed was named and like he's based on a developer from that same company, FTL, that made an FTL style game.
Yeah.
That is weird. Because like the company, the developer, like it stands for faster than light, as far as I understand. Like, so it's weird that there's this weird relationship between Dungeon Master, Sundog, and there's a relationship between like Sundog and the indie game FTL, which is similar to Sundog, from what I understand.
Yeah, look up Sundog the game, and you will get like immediate.
Not Sundog the person,
Right?
Sundog feels like a
You mean Soondog?
circa 2001 like white rapper.
He definitely got moon pussy.
The male version of a tsundere is a Sundog.
Yeah, it's an unfaithful male tsundere, a Soondog.
Dave's very tsundere. I know he loves me, but he doesn't like to show it. He's very Sundog.
Please, Soondave.
He's my tsundere.
All right. Okay. So I had Zed. I did reincarnate Zed, mainly just because I wanted to name him Daddy. And I kind of regret that decision because he had all of the classes. He had all of them. He had fighter, healer, wizard, and ninja. And then just because I wanted to rename him Daddy, he loses all of that. So it's like a metaphor for becoming a father.
Yeah. You have to start all over.
You got to start all over. You think you're a badass ninja. You think you're a badass fighter, healer, ninja, wizard? You ain't shit.
But my Lego Master level is really high. No,
it's
you're
not.
Done.
The next character, the eldest son to Dungeon Daddy.
My Masturbatorist level. You can keep that one.
Yeah,
That's the
that
only one you get.
You actually
That
continue
one's gonna
leveling
get
that one. Yeah. The eldest son was Gothmog, who we discussed earlier. The ghost, I guess, was the best way I can
Looks
describe
like a
him.
shade from D&D.
Yeah. And then after him, I recruited Hissa. That's Hi, 4 S's and an A, who's a lizard person. Phil, what is that a reference to? Do you know?
Let's see. I've got Origin and Champion names pulled up here. Some of them are very, very rich, and some of them are just like, it kind of sounded cool.
Yeah, like a lizard.
His wife's name is Melissa, and she's a snake, so it's Hissa.
Or it's like snakes are kind of like lizards, right? Hey, Zed, stop working on Sundog. Lizards are just snakes with legs, right? Zed says, yeah. All right.
Yes, lizards are versions of the devil that weren't punished by God.
Yeah, I was taught that
Welcome
as
to
well.
TADPOG Church.
Yeah.
So Hissa's full name is Hissa Lazar of Makan.
Sounds made up.
And Makan, according to this very, very, I'm sure, 100% accurate entry, means to eat in Malay.
All right. That checks
There you
out.
go.
Because that motherfucker did like to eat. I can tell you that.
When I saw Gothmog, I just figured, like, it looks like a black Moogle, doesn't it? That's Gothmog.
Gothmog. Yeah, Moogle with heavy eyeliner.
It's a Moogle that cuts itself.
Yeah.
All these razor marks on its red bum, red dangly.
Man, anyone notice that when we got on Setzer's airship, Mog started, stopped dancing and just started listening to The Cure a lot?
just kind of kicks around.
And then the fourth character that I selected was...
His dance ability just makes shit cloudy now.
The fourth character that I selected was Woof, a WWUUF, which sounds like, I'm guessing that was a radio call sign. That's the history to that one.
Woof the Bika, B-I-K-A, parentheses female. And the only thing it says about her is coincidentally the sound she makes when she speaks.
All right. So it's not like you're listening to Wolf and the Sundog. Coming up next, Three Dog Night.
We're making this girl so unattractive, all she can do is woof. 1987.
Buzz's girlfriend.
Woof.
Back to Home Alone. Yeah.
But they had a couple other characters on there that were named off of other popular culture things. Chani, named after the character from Dune. Trying to think what else. I mean, they had the two barbarians. They had the pornography girl. I don't know.
Whoa. Playboy. It's different. Playboy's not pornography.
Well, it's like
classy.
Like a 75 Playboy, I feel like is something I could just give to Henry. The government would be okay with it.
That's like the guy who created Naruto. Tsunade is modeled after, her measurements are modeled after his favorite porn star, who is that one Asian porn star with just the enormous fucking boobs. Miller can tell me exactly who it is because Miller loves
I subscribe to some subreddits. You're going to have to be more specific.
Hitaki.
Yeah, you're on the right.
Tamami?
Titty? I don't know.
Something like that.
I'll
Link in the show notes.
Yeah. Please go on while I research.
No, we'll just sit while you look at porn. It's okay.
Hitomi Tanaka.
Hitomi Tanaka.
I knew it started with a T.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's all we have to say.
Well,
about just people who draw stuff, model stuff after porn.
Once again,
That's
pornography halts the show. Yeah.
The box art. Did you guys notice the box art for not the Super Nintendo, but like the original release of the game?
Yeah, I did. Didn't like the developer paint that or something?
It was painted off of there's a woman holding a torch, there's a man she's holding a wand, and that was modeled off after the artist's wife. And the guy who's pulling a torch off the wall is one of the art directors. And then there's a strong man in the foreground who they just got a bodybuilder from the local gym and had him pose in his underwear and drew him off of that. And I've got a link to that whole thing with each of the people posing in their iconic poses, which is fantastic because it's just a rippled dude in a white Speedo sitting on the corner of a table.
I bet that wasn't a weird conversation at all. Hey,
White Claw number 2.
You wanna pose? We'll paint you.
Come back with me and my wife, please.
You ever hear of video games? You ever hear of the Atari ST? You look like a man who's heard of the Atari ST. So what is that's it, right? That's all the game?
Well, I read that food, once you can make it to the 3rd floor, that food is no longer an issue.
Oh, really?
There is a monster that you can kill and keep its remains as food.
Like forever?
Like this little tree.
Yeah,
That's a screamer.
Screamer.
And you encounter those pretty early on, too.
Apparently there are infinite screamers in level 3, so you just anytime you need food, you just go stock up.
I gotcha. They were, I was afraid to eat the meat because I noticed that when you kill them, they drop meat, and it's like, I don't know if I want to just eat raw monster
looks like
meat.
Brussels sprout quarters. I don't know.
I fed it to the lizard man first because I was like, if anything in my party can eat this, it's Hissa. And Hissa didn't die, so that's good. So that gives me no excuse. Sorry, Phil, go ahead.
Did we cut you off when you were talking about spellcasting? I can't remember.
No, we haven't really even talked about spellcasting. I
sort of like how they do spellcasting in this game.
Because I liked it too, and it was really obtuse, and there wasn't, from what I understand, there wasn't anything in the instruction manual that told you how to cast the spells, where you are combining these symbols in combinations of 2 to 4, and there's, I don't know how many symbols there are.
A lot.
More than 12, but yeah, you just have to like experiment with them, and there are scrolls lying around that will tell you some of the spells. But it's a weird system. Like you pick your first of 6 symbols, and that kind of corresponds to how powerful the spell is.
Which is cool. I like that.
Yeah, so you can make a super powerful version of the spell or a really weak version that doesn't use as much mana. And then there's the other symbols kind of determine whether it's, an elemental spell, whether it's it kind of determines what kind it's going to be. But when you're actually like playing the game in real time, you're having to click on those to cast the spells and find the right combinations while the enemy is attacking you. So it's a bit cumbersome when you don't have a mouse to interact with that at the same time.
Yeah, you can ready a spell, which Twitch chat taught me, which is nice. Like you can go ahead and prepay the mana and input because the fireball spell is like first symbol, fourth symbol, I think. So there's 3 runes that you have to use to cast fireball.
I remember you go like the 411, but not that.
Not that, right? So it's like you can input that into the spellcasting bar and then just leave it there until you need it, and then you can move the cursor over to it and be like, "This is my fireball button," and press it. Which I think is nice. I think that's kind of like to combat the clunkiness of because Phil, you're right. It's not as simple as like opening up a menu and then going fire 3.
Yeah.
The instruction manual does include the runes, and it does include a spell list. I don't know if it's an exhaustive list of spells.
Nice. Okay.
Or if because I mean it'd be really, really tough.
They'll probably just give the bare basics, then you have to find the scrolls to tell you how to do the powerful shit.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. I didn't get far enough into the game because the amount of time I put into it, which was not a whole hell of a lot of time, but also not an insignificant amount. I didn't even get to the next floor down. So it was it's a clunky game. Yeah. Moving through it is they give you an option of using the D-pad to control your character's movement or clicking individually on buttons to go forward, back, left, and right. You can use the R and L buttons to turn so you're not strafing everywhere. Mm-hmm. They give you those options, but it's it is still very, very clunky and slow moving through the dungeon. Because each step you take is essentially you take a step and then you see a different screen because it redraws that dungeon, as you're going through the maze. So it's not as fast as Wizardry 5. And I know what's crazy is it's I feel like in Wizardry 5 even we were yeah, it's clunky and it's slow, but it's I feel like Dungeon Master is definitely to me it felt slower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more akin with Might and Magic 3 than I feel that Wizardry 5 is kind of light years ahead of this in terms of pace of play.
Yeah, and you're right about Might and Magic 3.
Those two are very much each time you move, it takes maybe a quarter second for things to load, and that quarter second adds up over time.
And man, I'm glad that you brought up Might and Magic 3 again because I meant to say this earlier, but we probably made a Pingus joke or something. I love these games that do not have an economy or a town to go and train or buy things. I prefer it when it's this is the dungeon. That's all you get. All you get is the dungeon. You don't because I feel in Might and Magic 3, it was too much, man. Because it's all right, so I have these big dungeons and a whole world to explore, which would be fine, but I don't know what I'm doing.
No, it would help if if you could tell the difference between a dungeon and a town in Might and Magic 3, which you could not.
Right, exactly.
But I did. So trying to find this being streamed to try to, because I put an hour into it before it was just I was too exhausted with it. I went in 100% blind to try and play this game, and it did not work.
At all. Yeah, I bet that was a good experiment though.
So yeah, just because I'd seen what you played, but I didn't. I missed the first of you playing, and because I was editing and all that.
Yeah.
But I did, so I found one guy streaming the Super Nintendo version, start to finish.
Okay.
A guy named Ellen Ray.
Okay.
His stream, I don't know if it was purposeful. I don't know if this is his character. I don't know if this is him. But his character, this guy, it was truly hilarious. Because, Patton Oswalt's bit where he talks about the evil counterweight to Bob Ross, the guy who... I drew my divorce papers on the back of my wife's skin.
Right.
It was sort of like that guy,
yes,
but a little more jovial.
Oh, bummer.
But he has that same accent.
Man.
It's I'm playing through Dungeon Master on the Super Nintendo.
You had me, and then you lost me.
This is quite clunky. Let's see. I'm going through the dungeon, and I find there are some leather pants. Oh, I'll put on the leather pants, and we are like the Hells Angels. Only we have no motorbikes to ride around on.
I love it.
Well, let's see. Well, now there's a mummy. I'm going to kill a mummy and bash him with my club. And yes, now we are cooking with gas. I was like, all right, this is pretty good. This guy's
that
pretty
does
good.
sound really good. Well, damn it. I don't have the best Dungeon Master stream around. Next time I'll do it with a German accent as long as I can.
But it really, he has beat the game with one character, and that's it. Beat the game with just playing the one shitty character.
Wow.
Tiggy or something like that.
Yeah, like a small child.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember going through the mirrors and being like, nope, don't think I'm going to play as the child.
So he said, I've done magic runs where I can't use that spell unless I find the scroll. And I mean, he's absolutely
he's
loves
legit
this game.
What's his name again? Ellen Ray?
Ellen Ray. I'll put a link to that in the show notes.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know where the second floor is. I don't know if there are bosses. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. It was just, I appreciate this game for what it is, but I couldn't really go back to it and love it very much. I like watching you play it, but that's it.
I enjoyed playing it. There are things that I definitely do not know about the game and probably never will. I'm really glad that you brought up the leather pants because it's when I examine items in this game, they don't give me statistics.
Yep.
So it's just common knowledge is the falchion is probably better than the dagger.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
But I don't know for sure. The game could be totally fucking with me. And it's this idiot had the best weapon from the beginning of the fucking game. He never used it.
He just threw it.
He threw it and left it. Which is, I'm glad you say throw because you can throw weapons in the game, which is neat. That's a thing that the ninjas do, and it raises your ninja skill.
You get rocks and other stuff that you can use as weights to weigh down switches to go over puzzles. And I like that. I like that puzzle element to it. I think that is neat. And it was I'm sure they get much more difficult as you go down, but I don't know, in the level I was it's okay, this is a little bit of a head scratcher, but it's not not enough to be I got to look this up except for one thing. And that is a really simple solution. There's a pit that you got to traverse, and there's a pressure plate. All right. So when you step on the pressure plate, the pit closes. Great. When you step off, the pit opens up again. It's well, fuck. What do I do? And Phil actually, Herald Arthur in a previous room had an idea of why don't you put something heavy on the pressure plate and to keep it pressed down. Fantastic idea. The problem was every time I tried to set a rock down on the plate, I'd throw it instead. I just throw it to the far wall and it would clatter to the ground and the pit still opens. It's I don't know what the fuck to do. Turns out if you try to drop the rock from too high up, you throw it. But if you set it down, if you move the cursor down to the bottom of the screen and drop it, then you just set it down. This is a thing that I do not recall reading in the instruction manual. But it's pretty important that you know that.
Because it is absolutely necessary to progress through the first level in the dungeon. So I don't know. That's kind of one of those where it's it's annoying, but I think it's because I am used to being taught how to play a video game within that video game.
Yeah.
And I think an interesting ROM hack of this game would be to just make it have tutorial screens where it's for instance, when you actually have to drop that rock on the plate, when you pick the rock up, a window should appear and says do you know if you try to drop the rock from the top half of the screen, you're going to throw the motherfucker.
It's me, the law wizard ghost.
It's me, Wizard Clippy. It looks like you're trying to set a rock down. Have you tried using your PINGAS? Just kidding. Drop it on the bottom half of the screen.
This isn't Sega, it's Nintendo.
Right. Or when you're holding the rock on the top half, it just gives a red squiggle underneath the rock. And then when you move it down to the bottom, squiggle goes away. There you go. It's perfect. Right. So I'm going to make a lot of money on that ROM hack. If any of you guys want in on that, let me know.
Man.
I know Ellen Ray will probably be on board.
Yes, he will.
It might not be pure enough, honestly. That wasn't a German joke. That was a... Yeah, that wasn't a German joke. That was
good.
Phil's not beating his desk, so... That was just a retro gaming joke.
Do you guys have any achievements?
I do. I have a few achievements. Let's see what we got here. 2 of these came in from Twitch chat, so thank you, Twitch chat. I appreciate that. This first one is from Nathan Eaton, and that is Magnum PI Dungeon Daddy. In order to unlock Magnum PI Dungeon Daddy, add Zed as the leader of your party, your sexy, sexy party. It's my family, Nate. It's my dungeon family. Come on. Second achievement I've got is Klaatu, Barada, Necktie, Nectar, Nickel, Noodle. It's an N-word, but not that one. In order to unlock that, you need to mumble a meaningless spell, and that comes in from Big Dick Pie Baker Chris Vaughn, which anytime you try to cast a spell in the game, if you configure the runes in an incorrect order, a text box appears that says, you mumble a meaningless spell. And essentially it just means that's not a spell. Can't do it. And then the third achievement I have is a Dave style original.
Oh, man.
And that is called Bro Potion. And in order to unlock Bro Potion, you need to make a anti-venom potion, which are straight up called Bro Potions. And that brings me so much fucking joy. Because I was drinking a Monster Energy drink on stream. So it's like I got my Bro Potion right here. Do you guys have any achievements?
Phil,
No.
I have 2.
Sorry.
That's all right. You brought that sweet Playboy factoid
It's
that
true.
we didn't have otherwise.
My first one is Vault 108. You unlock Vault 108 by naming all of your characters Gary.
Okay, perfect. I love it.
So if you're a fan of Fallout,
Or Gary Gygax.
there you go.
There you go.
Then my other one is Dusk Requiem. You unlock Dusk Requiem by beating the game just as Gothmog.
Ooh.
Because Mog's Darkness Dance is the Dusk Requiem.
Yeah, nice. I love that. So, any closing thoughts?
Good in its time. It's an important game, but not one I think you can easily go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, this reminds me of Wasteland, and I had kind of grown up on that series. I was introduced to that series through Fallout and Fallout 2, and then when Bethesda took over Fallout and I went to a first-person mode, I was able to kind of re-experience that through Wasteland 2 when that came out within the past decade or so, and that made me want to go back and check out the original Wasteland from which the whole thing was based off of. And that game just felt completely unplayable. It was so slow and obtuse and hard to understand. It was just kind of a product of its time it doesn't translate anymore, or at least it's too difficult, I think, for new users to really get into it. You have to have been raised on this game. You have to have had a history with this coming into it, and it's kind of too hard to get into. There's much better entry points into this style of game than Dungeon Master, but I can appreciate it for what it is and what it was.
Out of this is the third first-person dungeon crawler for the SNES that we've had an episode about. Out of the 3 that we've done so far, Wizardry 5, Might and Magic 3, and now Dungeon Master, which do you think is the superior game?
That's tough. I have the nostalgia glasses for Wizardry 5. That's going to be the one I go to bat for, if only because it's such a faster paced game.
Yeah.
And the screen loading of every single step is kind of a deal breaker for me. And I can only really play it for so long before I get tired of how just painstakingly slow the game is.
Okay, so Wizardry 5 for Phil. What do you think, Tyler? I know this really isn't your jam, but if you're forced to play one of the 3, which one do you think you play?
I think I might say this.
Yeah, Dungeon Master?
I might say this one because I feel like I could figure it out and play it.
Yeah. I'm also going to go Dungeon Master, and that is because I really like Wizardry 5, and Phil, I think we can all agree Might and Magic 3 is the bottom. I also like Wizardry 5, but what I like about Dungeon Master is I know the instruction manual urges you to map the dungeon out as you go, but I feel like that I could wing it to a certain point where it's like Wizardry 5, like even that first floor is like, oh my God, there are so many. This is like a Warren. Because like there are so many tunnels that just lead to nowhere. They lead to empty rooms. Like there are rooms here that are just here to be just the red herrings. And it's like, even with the map that I was making, it was like, God, I'm getting turned around. Dungeon Master didn't seem like that to me, at least on this level that I was, and I put the same amount of time into both games. And I feel like Dungeon Master was less mazy and more puzzly. And I like that.
And that is the hallmark of this style of game. Is it's more about the puzzles than about the maze. That said, I'm looking at some maps of the later dungeons, and I'd be curious how difficult these would be to navigate from a first person standpoint, because they look pretty difficult.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's just like Wizardry 5 right out the gate is like, you're gonna need a map.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to make a map.
There is no Hall of Champions in Wizardry 5. It drops you right in to the shithole.
That is
put in the 4, right? Here you go.
Yeah.
And I will openly admit that this game is probably better in terms of the amount of mechanics and innovation that it brings. And I think this is kind of the equivalent of like a V8 engine that's trying to be driven in a go-kart. And there's so much with this, and I don't think the Super Nintendo really had the hardware to really realize what this game wanted to be.
Yeah. No, I can totally agree with that. And I mean, it's like another limitation is the music in this game is super sparse. And it didn't have music when it first came out in 87. Right. Yeah. The SNES version has music. And it's like, man, I wish that music played throughout the entirety of the game. But it's like, it'll play a song, and when that song is over, that song stops. And it's just silence and the sounds of drips.
Because the video I watched, he was like, oh, yes, music.
You're right, yeah.
It breaks up the sound of the peeing that happens all the time.
Damn it. Ellen Ray's so good. There is a first-person dungeon crawler on the Super Nintendo that I am excited to play. And I'm curious, Tyler, if it bridges the gap between JRPGs and first-person dungeon crawlers enough that you might enjoy it. It is called Arcana. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It looked a lot like Dungeon Master, but it had like anime style portraits, which really drew me in. I was like, okay, what's this deal all about? And then like the characters talk. I was like, whoa, they're like conversations, like there's dialogue in this. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be the one, but either way, we'll find out.
We'll see.
Eventually.
I'm not familiar with Arcana. I've seen the box art of like the gypsy woman with the sword. But the game itself doesn't look familiar. But yeah, it totally looks more like Shining Force style portraits.
All right, you got me.
Portraits. Hold up. Just the portraits. And then it looks like all the enemies look like playing cards or something. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, you got me.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I have had a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Talking with you and Phil about the game Dungeon Master.
Drinking these White Claws.
Man, you can have the rest of my White Claw if you want.
Not good.
They are horrible.
I opened the Ruby Grapefruit one.
Ugh.
I love grapefruit, but man.
Well, I don't like grapefruit, and I've also discovered I don't like White Claw. But you can have the 3/4 of a black cherry White Claw if you want it. But before we close things out, I have some really important questions for you. Tyler, if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
I would give this a sort of pointy soul patch, like I've seen the lead singer of like Anthrax have.
Okay, all right. I've heard of Anthrax. I remember it was being mailed around to the U.S. Postal Service in the early 2000s.
Very true.
Yes. Well, those are mixtapes, I'm assuming.
Yeah. No, that the pointy soul patch was, I guess, good in its day. You could assume it might have been. People had it, but its relevance is certainly waning.
Okay. All right. I think that's fair. But it's still a customizable option in Palace chat.
Yeah, no, it is. It very much was. You're very correct.
Tyler,
A big pointy soul patch also seems like something that a dude named Sundog would wear.
Sundog, bringing all the hits from the 70s. Tyler, if you were to give this game a pair of glasses that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would it be?
I would give it the glasses of one Dwight K. Schrute.
Oh man,
because I feel those glasses are worn by most of the population who owned the Atari ST and owned this game.
yeah. Dwight does wear some early to mid 80s ass glasses, that's for sure. I love it. I have a question as well for both of you, Tyler and Phil. Mm-hmm. If you were to
Triple
buy...
kiss, done.
All right. Man, that's a good subreddit. If you were to buy this game loose, how much do you think you would pay for it on average?
I'm out.
Phil, you're out. Okay. Did you?
I looked up this game beforehand to see if I wanted to buy it. So,
do you have that up on your screen still?
No.
You can go second then. I'm going to see how good.
Okay.
I'm going to test your memory.
It was ported to so many things that I don't think it's hard to find.
Okay.
Even the Super Nintendo one, so I'm not going to aim super high. I'm going to split the difference and say 1420.
Phil, how much do you think it is? 1420 from Tyler.
$29.99 is what I saw.
$29.99 from Phil. Phil, where did you get your price? I'm curious.
Amazon, I think.
Okay. Actual retail value of Dungeon Master loose on average, according to pricecharting.com at the time of this recording, is $15.13. Phil, I hope you didn't buy that game.
I did not.
Do you think it is worth $15?
No.
No? That's a no from Tyler. Phil, what do you think?
Yes. I think if I had seen it for $15 on Amazon, I probably would have ordered it. The fact that my entry that I saw was 30, I was like, no, I think I'll just I'll find other means with which to play.
30 is steep. I would pay $15 for it. I think if I ran across it in the wild, but it's not, which is different than $15 seeking something out and paying $15 for it. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like that's like, if I was at like Game Galaxy or the Louisville Arcade Expo and a vendor had Dungeon Master for $15 and I had $20 in my pocket, I'd probably buy the game. But I'm not going to go to eBay and pay $15 for it.
Yeah.
Not yet. I will get to that point probably sometime in the future.
When you eventually start your Super Nintendo collection.
Right, which I have started that Super Nintendo collection.
Okay.
I have 45 games right now, and none of them are Dungeon Master. But maybe I'll find it in a lot. That's what I've been doing.
All of them are Goof Troop, though.
Yeah, right. I've been buying lots of Super Nintendo games as cheap as I can get them. And then I clean. They all come in super dirty. I clean them while I watch The Simpsons. And
You're making my brother rock hard right now.
all right. Well, there you go.
Unrelated.
Yes. You're also rock hard. Oh,
unrelated too. Yeah.
Damn it. I thought your Pingus was also at full mast. I have some other questions for you guys. If you'd like to answer them, I want to know where do you think FTL Games is now? This is the first game by FTL Games that we've covered. That was in air quotes covered. Where do you think they are now?
If they were still trying to make a second one of this in like 96 on the same game engine and it flopped, I'm going to assume they are defunct.
All right.
That is 100% true. I read after they had failed that they went tits up shortly after.
They had a website that existed until the mid 90s.
Oh, damn.
So there is that, but yeah, they are unfortunately defunct. 1996 approximately.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, don't use an 87 engine to make a game in 96.
Yeah. I have some more questions for you guys. We have a quiz that came in from Ross Rachel Green.
Fuck yes.
Called All Call Show Names. All Calls Show Names. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, fuck. Just All Calls episode names?
Shoney's? Did you guys do an all-call episode of Shoney's?
Show
Maybe we did.
Show names. I'm sorry. I will attempt to enunciate better.
All calls at Shoney.
Oh man, I tell you what. If we do one at Shoney's, Sign me up.
I drove past. Did I tell you this? That I drove past the Shoney's headquarters when I was in Knoxville.
The headquarters?
The corporate headquarters.
What did it look
for
like?
Shoney's.
The Pentagon?
A fucking shed.
Yay!
It was just like a small warehouse with a sign, Shoney's headquarters. So I was like, all right.
You popped in, everyone had their Atari STs. Half of them were playing Dungeon Master.
They're all American burgers. They're very happy.
Man. Every time I go through Clarksville, I am like, man, they have a Shoney's here, and I need to eat at it.
Kenna, what are you doing right now? Let's go eat at Shoney's. We'll have scrambled eggs and cake.
This is not a joke, Tyler. You and me should get the kids together, and we should go to Shoney's one day.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Ross Rachel Green, all calls show names. And Ross says, nope, not even I am that cruel. I am still on games beginning with a letter, and one that brings much joy to the British public has a story behind it. A long time ago, there was a quiz show on TV called Blockbusters that had a hexagonal grid covered in letters. You said the name of a letter, and a question would be asked along the lines of which letter was. Of course, when someone selected a letter, they would say, I'll have a insert letter, please, Bob. The show being hosted by an old man named Bob. Probably Robert, who knows. And no end of hilarity would ensue when the contestant said, I'll have a P, please, Bob. It's funnier when you are 5. Anyway, get a load of these peas. There's peeing in the dungeon. We know because of Ellen Ray.
Yep.
Usual rules apply. First question. Are we ready, gentlemen?
Of course.
Yes.
This top-down shooter is a sequel which allows a second player to control the CPU character for co-op play.
Pocky and Rocky 2.
I think that's a really good answer. I was going to go Puzzle Bobble, but yeah, I think it's Pocky and Rocky 2.
I'm going to agree with that one.
All right, we're all in agreement, locking it in. Do we want to guess an episode number? That's probably like episode 14 or 15 or something like that. That was a really early episode.
15.
15, Pocky and Rocky 2, locking it in. It is 34, Pocky and Rocky 2. We got the important part. Well done, Tyler. Next question. This game was one of the first God games. It's Populous.
Yep.
Populous.
And with over...
Populous. I want to be populous.
And with
Yeah. Remember that gag I did about popular on Wicked, but as populous? Everybody loved it. I got letters about it. Everybody loved it so much.
That's why we
Jacob York loved it. I remember that.
Do a full rendition, please.
Go on.
You're a god of people in populous.
Yes.
I need to watch the musical again.
All right. Ross Rachel Green continues. It's one of the first God games with over 4 million copies sold. It's one of the best-selling PC games of all time. We all agree it's Populous.
Step your game up, Dungeon Master. 40,000 copies.
Yeah, versus 4 million on the, well, who knows? Probably on all of the platforms. What episode number do you think Populous was?
52.
52. Pocky and Rocky was 34, just for fun
47.
Well, we're going to have to come to agreement.
52.
52. Locking it in because we can't see Phil, and he's probably got tadpog.com pulled up on his computer.
Goddamn right.
52. Populous. Locking it in. It is 37. Populous.
Oh, damn.
Next question. This game sees the player investigating and questioning a suspect of a crime. L.A. Noire. Doubt.
Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Did we do an episode on Phoenix Wright?
We did an episode.
Oh, yeah.
We did? Wow, okay.
We did.
Sweet. All right. What episode number do you think that was?
I feel like that was much later on.
I remember because I
That would
remember.
have been an Other Shit Monday one.
Was it Dual Destinies?
I think it was. It might. I think we talked about all of them, but we started with Dual Destinies.
Okay, because I remember when Dual Destinies came out, but I don't remember what episode number we were on then.
I want to say like 107.
107. Phoenix Wright, locking it in. It is 49. Phoenix
Way
Wright.
off.
Wow. Next question. This game sees you working as an immigration official. It's Papers, Please.
Papers, please.
Paper.
Episode number, I'm going to say 69. Everyone good with that?
Yep. That was a pee-pee. Can I have a pee-pee?
It is, in fact, 97. Papers, please. Got the game right. That's all that matters. Next question. This game was developed by the company that would go on to create a game about battling monsters. So that'd be Game Freak, probably. They did Pokemon. Pulseman.
Pulseman, very good.
What episode?
I don't remember that.
Oh,
I forgot about Pulseman.
Pulseman was a pretty decent platformer.
I remember you really liked that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Do you want to take a guess at episode number? It'd be probably after 97.
107.
107. Pulseman, locking it in. It is 361. Pulseman. Wow. That was a big jump. Okay. Next question. This game starred a main protagonist named Chaz. This should be enough. Fantasy Star.
Fantasy Star.
Fantasy Star.
And Chaz is 4, so Fantasy Star 4.
It is 4. I'm glad you remember that because I was like, is it 2 or 4? All right. Fantasy Star 4. What episode number do you think it was?
Oh, the Genesis is in the 300s with Pulseman.
Pulseman was 361.
373.
Locking it in. 373. Fantasy Star 4. 381, 383, and 385. Fantasy Star 4. Next question. This game sees the characters shooting themselves in the head to summon monsters. Persona 4.
Nope, Persona 3.
Persona 3?
Yep.
All right. What episode number do you think
They
it
had
was?
guns to summon and they shoot them. Yeah, Persona 3. 356.
385 was the last one.
411.
411. Persona 3, locking it in. It is, in fact, 389. Persona 3. Well done, Tyler. Next question. This game sees characters traveling to another world through televisions.
Persona 4.
Persona 4.
Yep.
What episode number do you think that was? Probably like 390 or 391?
391.
391, Persona 4, locking it in. It is 390 in Persona 4. We were very close. I don't remember those episodes because I did not play those games. Those were TADPOGs. Next question. This is a game that sees the character, a small child, attacked by dogs, lawnmowers, and death himself. That is Paperboy.
All right.
Yep.
420, Paperboy. Locking it in.
Yeah.
It is 461, Paperboy. Next question. Final question. This sports game featured 24 official teams, just like there's 24. There are 24 characters in the Hall of Champions. Bless you.
Just one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a rarity. You must be cursed.
I know.
This sports game featured 24 official teams and 288 official players and contained a setting that made the game impossible to score with.
I have no idea.
So it's a sports game that begins with P.
Is there some soccer game that was like Power Class Champions European Soccer Goal?
Because there was European Prime Goal.
Maybe it's just Prime Goal.
Is
Maybe
it
he's
Prime
pulling from Prime
European?
Goal. Yeah, is it Prime European or something like that?
I know. I'm like 90% sure it's a European Prime Goal.
European Prime Goal episode. It would have been after Paperboy.
Well,
though.
no, I mean that it's not Prime.
Oh,
that's just
oh,
European Prime
okay.
Goal. I don't know if the answer is European Prime
I got you.
Goal.
I understand now. This would have been after episode 461. This would have been kind of recent. Probably Persona 4 Golden. Good Lord.
Phil Lambier's Combat Basketball.
Is that the one where you play with the Phil's turn? You get to hit the ball with the Phil's turn?
Shit, what's that sports game that we've done with a P?
Pingas Wars?
Pingas Wars.
Pingas Wars.
Roger Clemens.
Which, man, I am rewatching The Simpsons because of Disney Plus, and I just today watched the nuclear power plant softball team episode with and when Roger Clemens comes on, I'm like, hey, I know that guy from a video game.
Said only you ever. Phil, any idea?
Did you guys do pro hockey? Is it no? Fuck, that's not a game.
Pro
I was
hockey.
thinking ice hockey. I have no idea.
I don't know. Was there a pro hockey?
I don't think
Pro
so.
basketball, pro hockey, what the setting made it impossible to play?
Yeah, which makes me think of ESPN's Primetime Goal. Do you think it's Primetime Goal? Wait, that's not a thing. Was it? Because it's like, damn it. What's that ESPN show? Phil, you know this. What's the hockey ESPN show?
I'm not a hockey man. I don't know.
Shit.
I do like how Ross is making us all question our sanity. As we're like, did we do this? Was this a show? Was this a game?
Oh my God, this is
I think
awful.
pro something sounds like a pretty good guess.
Pro something, locking it in.
Pro hockey. Pro hockey.
Pro hockey.
Pro hockey.
512, locking it in.
Good answer.
504, pro sport hockey. 2/3 of the
Missing
way
one
there.
word.
2/3 of the way there.
Because I was like, what was that super generic when we played like really early on in the randomizer?
Oh, this is horrible. This is like, I'm half of this podcast. I should remember a game that we just recently played.
It was vanilla as fuck and not good. And
I don't remember it at all, dude. At all. Like, I can't even picture the title. I can't even picture the show art in my mind. Fuck. All right. Thanks, Ross. We do appreciate the quiz.
Thanks for reminding us of our mortality, Ross. Thank you. All right. Well, that was pretty good. I think we got
Pretty
good.
good.
I feel comfortable sharing this. I think I could do. I think my Graham can see this on my Facebook page.
All right. Awesome. So no need for me to title the Facebook post, "Attention, Mayor."
Attention, Grams and Mayor.
Yeah.
Really, you could get really blue at the end of the episode here, and it probably wouldn't matter because
No one's
folks
making it
I'm
this
worried
far.
about listening are not going to make it this far.
What, you don't think the mayor of your town would make it through us trying to remember the name Pro Sport Hockey for 10 minutes?
That would be
we
the
should
deal
get half
breaker.
credit for.
He would get that far and then be like, "I'm out."
All right. Well,
Phil, thanks for being on, man.
yeah, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
You gave us your
Question
full
is-
extensive list, so we'll be seeing you like at least 20
Question
more
is, am I-
times.
Are we going to be seeing me next week? Is the randomizer going to make this happen?
That's true. Why don't
Which, okay, last bit of trivia here. I think the randomizer chose this game because it is going to have its 32nd anniversary
Whoa.
on December 15th. This is the closest show without
Wow.
going over to the date that it was released.
The big 3-2. And hey, our
Big
next
3-2.
our next episode will be after that. So yeah, this is perfect. Wow.
Wow.
All right.
In mysterious ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And brought you on to know that fact because Dave and I wouldn't have.
Nah. I'm still stuck on Pro Sport Hockey. I'm still trying to remember what the fuck that game looked like. That's a pretty bad game.
Meanwhile, you're like Pulse Man. Phil and I are like,
But Pulse Man's a good game, though.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Pepsi Man wasn't on that list.
yeah, fuck,
Pepsi
Ross.
Man!
Because we would have known that immediately.
Yeah.
There's no way to describe that game that we don't get that
Yeah,
immediately.
no, it's true. And I think he used Pepsi Man not too super long ago, too.
yeah.
So he probably thought about it and was like, nah, those motherfuckers love them some Pepsi Man. And I've used it recently. So
I was waiting for Power Rangers to come up, and I never did.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me go over here and take this key that I keep close to my heart, unlock this chest, pull out my just well-oiled, very nice Louisville Slugger signed by one Donnie
I mean,
Jeffco.
look at that.
Yeah.
It's your magic bat.
Man.
Like Homer had that he handcrafted out of a tree limb that was struck by lightning
Yep.
in that very episode that I just watched today that has Roger Clemens in it.
In the show notes.
And Ken Griffey Jr., who I also know from a video game.
And Wade Boggs. Because
I don't know him
Wade
from a
Boggs.
video game. Wade Boggs sounds like a lazy fantasy character.
All right, so put this bat down, put my forehead on it, turn around in circles while saying the prayer we all know so well. Mm-hmm. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop.
209. 209. Niner.
It's in the G's.
Correct, Phil.
Jeez.
It is in the G's. Any guesses?
Gretzky, Wayne, hockey.
Man, wow. That's a really good guess. It's not right, but wow. Yeah.
Golf. Just golf.
It is. And everyone's going to think that this was fucking rigged.
Oh,
Everyone's going to think this was rigged.
I love it.
I goddamn guarantee you that it was not. 209 is Ghoul Patrol,
Nice.
which I'm waiting
All
for
right.
Phil's laughter. I don't hear it. The reason I say everyone's going to think it's rigged is because I have a
I own that
spreadsheet.
game.
Phil's name is
I own that game.
Phil's name is next to that game on the spreadsheet.
I got that game from Cody Stinson. I purchased a bunch of Super Nintendo games off of him, which included Ghoul Patrol. So
you'll be joining us
You on
again
for next week?
I will check with Bulbasaur if she is fine with single momming it for next week night. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys back on here.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
So if you enjoyed this episode, come back next week, and Phil may or may not be here.
We can say that for any show, though.
That is true. That's the TADPOG guarantee.
Aren't a lot of things I know in life, but I do know Phil Hawkins will always be or not be on the show.
That Chris Edler quoting on TADPOG 2038. Pinball Archmage. Sorry, I need to use titles when titles are due.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, on Spotify.
Spotify, dog.
I'm trying not to snot everywhere. In the next episode, Ghoul Patrol. I'm excited about that. I've heard a lot about it. I've never even seen it played, though. So
I haven't either. I know it's the sequel to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That's all I know about it.
Mm-hmm. I've never played it either since I got it. So this will be a new
Perfect.
experience for me.
So if like intros, you like us to try stuff or send us funny stuff, whatever for an intro, you can send that to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, PO Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. You want to call us, leave us a voicemail. We do those sometimes. 270-883-2555. And social media, we've got TADPOG_podcast on Facebook, not Facebook, TADPOG_podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Then the TADPOG page, we're trying to meme that up, make that good. So you got that. You got that for your surface level goofs.
Yeah.
You want to go dank, you want to go dark?
Whoa.
That's TADPOG Nation.
Whoa.
Are you a nice good boy who enjoys good times with their good boys? That's that TADPOG Discord.
Yeah. bit.ly/TADPOG Discord. Type that into a web browser and it will give you an invitation to join. It's an invitation only server, which sounds fancy, but that's how they all work.
We also got that Patreon.
We do. Did you enjoy this episode, listener? If you did, then I don't know, man. Give us $1. That'd be cool. Tyler is running a fantastic Call of Cthulhu tabletop game that we've been recording and posting weekly on Mondays on the TADPOG Patreon. And I think we've made it. I hate to say that because I don't want to jinx anything, but I have found so I signed up for Google Alerts for TADPOG because I feel like it's a responsible thing to do. And just this week, I got an email that was like a link to a site, and I followed it, and it was somebody who was asking for TADPOG password to a TADPOG Patreon. So it was like, man, okay, all right, I like that.
I want to hear this, but I'm gonna keep my $1.
You're right. So don't be that guy. If you're listening and you're that person, give us $1, man. Come on, it's $1.
It's all of it. It's all
$1.
There's a ton of shit there.
You get all of it. But I really enjoy the Call of Cthulhu game that you're running, Tyler.
Thank you.
It's amazing. It's a lot of fun.
That means a lot to me.
And it is all available on patreon.com/TADPOG if you chip in at least $1. I would like to take a moment. So sit right there. I'm going to thank a few people who gave us money on Patreon. I would like to thank a new donor, Mountain Dew Baja Blast Marketing Department. Thank you very much for your $1. I appreciate it. We will definitely accept that.
I mean, since Taco John's and Mondo dropped us, it's good. It's good to see that again.
I know. I agree. Also, I would like to thank Brooks Arnold, who just recently upped his donation. Brooks, thank you very much. And I would like to thank Joseph Phillips, who just upped his donation as well.
Yeah.
Joseph, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. I'd like to say thank you to a new donor, Chris Wiltermood. Chris, thank you very much for your donation. I hope you enjoy the bonus content. I would also like to thank a new donor, Adam Missy. Adam, I hope you enjoy the content as well.
Adam Missy's been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
Forever.
Welcome to Patreon.
Welcome to Patreon. Welcome.
You've made it.
Now I love you.
I know you couldn't find that password you were looking for online. So,
you got frustrated
so good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And I would also like to thank Nicole J. Weiland for her donation. Thank you very much.
Girl.
And not the minimum donation either.
I'm going to assume you're Chandra's friend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the bonus content.
All right. What do we do after that? Our theme song. Phil, what's our theme song?
Did we lose Phil? Phil, are you there?
I'm back.
Oh,
I'm
there
back.
he is.
I thought
Herald Arthur came into the room and I had to mute it. So
Pingus.
Baba Booey.
Dude, if Pingus could be the Baba Booey of TADPOG, man, that would be fantastic. Now I need to make a Pingus emote for the Discord server.
Yeah. But Phil, what's our theme song?
Moves
And who
by
does
Oak
that?
Lane. Remember when we made those jokes?
Yes.
They're back. They're back. In
Hey,
Pingus
if
form.
Popular Populace came back, then man, it's totally good to make those Sycamore Drive goofs.
Do you think that we could, Phil? I know the answer to this. This is baiting.
Yeah.
I'm baiting you, but do you think we could find a way to have Oak Lane Pogs made so you could say Oak Lane is back in Pog form?
That is something I do want to bring to TADPOG Prom is custom Pogs, and you can make custom Pogs. There's a website where you can just submit your own art and order them for like I don't know an obscene price.
Yeah,
$20 a pog.
They are expensive.
I think it was like 100 Pogs for like $30. Like it's not a great value.
No,
but
they're making a
it's
lot of
something.
money. Can you get slammers too?
Make your own Pog.
My goal
Custom Pogs.
Oh?
Custom Pogs, they're back. Remember Pogs?
they're back in Pog form. Yes,
That is what it says.
yes.
I undersold them. It's 100 Pogs for $38.
100 individual pogs or just 100 of the same pog?
Good question.
You can get I think 5 different designs, so like 20 Pogs of each design.
Okay. All right.
And then you can order more. You want 10,000 Pogs? They do them in orders
Yes.
at 10,000.
Yes. How much is that?
Only $2,500.
Can I have them drop ship to anywhere in the United States?
Dave, please speak to your creative director. See if he can order a pog machine for you guys to start doing.
Yeah. I think we probably could make Pog machines at work if Chris Black felt like doing them, which is not good odds on that.
All right, so everyone petition Chris Black to start making pogs for us. Chris Black's Diary on Instagram. Oh. All right, I think that's all we got then.
This episode was executive produced by the following people. Usurper Grim 1383, who was in the Discord chat when this call started, and I was like, Grim, get out of here. And he got out of here real quick, like so quick that I felt like I needed to message him and be
So
like,
quick as Patreon donation went away.
whoa, it evaporated. Oops. I wish I had a time machine, but I've spent all my money on Pogs. If you want to check out Grim on Twitch, he streams under Grim with 2 M's, 1383. I recommend you check him out. He got some new alerts that are very, very, very cool. Like they are seriously fucking amazing. He posted them in the Discord earlier this week, and they are fucking awesome. I'd also like to thank this episode is also executive produced by God Emperor Alex Pena, Cousin David Galino, The Eightfold, Daniel Abernathy.
Yep.
Platinum member Brett Miller, Laud Dennis, and Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link. Those are the folks who donate $20 or more a month. That makes a huge difference. Thank you very much.
Phil, how'd you have to close this one out?
Well, as your favorite Dungeon Master champion, of course.
All right. So until next time.
Tropical Capricorn.
Gothmog.
I was Wolf because I just wanted to howl again. I feel like I do that a lot on those.
Oh, I like it.
Because I think I did that like maybe 2 episodes
Your
ago.
spirit animal.
Yeah.
Who are you, Phil?
I thought we would all do Dungeon Daddy Zed. I did Dungeon Daddy.
Well, see, I was going all psychological because it was like, I can't do Gothmog. I can't do Dungeon Daddy. And I just want to howl.
Good.
Yeah.
Fun. Good.
Like Sundog.
I assumed if they showed the male genitalia back then in those shows, you would see infinitely more in-depth, extreme hardcore female genitalia.
There's like a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
It correlates, right?
Right.
Yeah. So here I am. I'm sitting around. My buddies are all there. We're all, 14, 15 years old. In my head, I know what I meant. What I said was, man, just show the dude. And they're like, what? What did you just say? And then I had to
Show the dude.
just like
Try to explain.
I fucking said it.
Right.
Yeah. Try to explain. They're like, no, dude, you fucking like dicks. No, I
Got logic.
Yeah. All right. So still to this day, those friends, when we get into an argument or we get into a disagreement, they're like, just show the dude. And I'm like, fucking guys.
I'll go get a dick to look at a pussy. It's fine.
So just like I was
can
saying
make
last time,
sacrifice.
I really love the trend of more, male genitalia in cinema, just because, it's a great equalizer, and it's not as flattering
dicks
at
are
all.
terrible.
A lot of the dicks in movies now are not flattering. Like
Right.
in The Hangover, it has like
Right.
this little Asian dick, and Observe and Report, like just kind of pudgy, like pedophile, weird streaker guy. But I find it very refreshing.
Just show the dude.
Just show the
Just show the dude.
Fuck you guys. Like, okay, just show the dude. I didn't use my name, and I just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh.
All right, guess ready for this. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right.
I don't know.
Are you ready?
I don't know.
Show the dude.
Just show him. Show some dick.
Show a little neck.
God. Let's see some scrotes.
The old dick neck.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Is that a taint? They call it a grundle, son.
Let me see that dick neck, baby.
I regret telling. I regret it.
You
I
shouldn't.
regret it. Yes.
I mean, you should,
I
but
do. I should, but I don't. Oh, okay.
okay, babe. Don't let me see it, Paul.
Are we recording? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they heard all the dick talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
no, you
sweet
started talking about
Jesus.
dicks, and I was like, recording now.
Yeah.
Show the dude.
You're welcome.
Get some stingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the end of every episode. Show me the dick.
Let me see that dick neck, baby.
Oh, thanks, guys.
You're welcome. They don't call me Hoover for nothing.
Yeah. Man, we could go off on a tangent right there. Let's stick to business.
There, Mason. Great.
Hey, hey, Patreon. You know what that sounds like.
Flap, flap, flap.